Bow in. Just go ahead, start jogging. You can lead us through. That way, moving, light on your toes. Sprawl. Fake. Fake. Sprawl. I do not want you to go to your knees. If you do this, this is bad. That one especially, that one's terrible. If you do this, like this is also bad. You want to be here. What I want is honestly for you guys to get used to not going to your knees at all. You just level change and you run. My knee never touches the floor. So now I'm in a good position to run to the side and land to side control. Okay? So my knee never touches. I'm here, I can even push. Level change, I'm just running. I can push, I can snap, shoot, run through your shot. Okay? 10 and 10. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. So make sure you run through. You're going like this. Run through. You're like bringing your feet next to each other and then going here. You want to literally go past her. See, like you're stopping. Run through her. She's going to take some damage. It's fine. She's got to be able to take it. If she can't take it, why is she competing? Boom. Yeah, run through it. Run through it. That's better. Now, pay attention to the footing, guys. If this right foot's in front, I want my right foot to be in the front. If his left foot's in front, I want my left foot to be in the front. Because my first step should be in the middle of his foot. If my feet are mirrored stance and I take a step in the middle, I'm giving him this outside, right? So if he sprawls me out, whatever happens, he's on the outside already. So then you would want to change your shot here. But now it makes it really awkward to get my head to the outside to run. I would most likely shoot for inside, which is okay, but it's a different type of takedown. If you want to work a double leg, then this is how you want to hit it. Because now from here, I take one step, and that's off balancing him. Now the second step is changing the angle, right? The first step, you should be getting this happening, where he's like moving backwards. If I'm here, like this first one, I get to him. But now, this second step, whenever I take this step, he should be getting pushed back. That's what should be happening. If you're like this, and your second step is just barely getting to him, then you weren't close enough. Because right here, he can sprawl me out, right? Because he's in a good position. He's not getting his upper body driven over his lower body, right? So this is why you need to like penetration step, and then step, and then step. And so then it's the off balancing, right? From here, I'm gonna shoot for a double leg, and I'm gonna immediately cut for like a lift. So I'm here, I shoot double, cut for a lift. All right, so I went to like a high crotch. So whenever I shoot the double, I'm here, I shoot double leg, boom. From this position, I punch this hand through, and now I'm in a squat position to lift him. Boom. And now we're here. Okay, so now we're working just picking them up. So you shoot, penetration step, that first step, punch. And from there you just hips in, lift, and whenever you lift, you gotta do this, like you're kind of ripping, like, you know, pulling a lawnmower, I guess, right? Whenever you got them in the air, you pull that lawnmower, and from there you can step your leg up as you fall. So again, boom, from this position I lift, and look, I rip the lawnmower to turn him. You see how that turns him? And then from there I just fall into side control. If you don't rip that lawnmower, you're gonna land like, he's gonna land on his knees, or he's gonna be able to recover. You wanna be able to, in the midair, turn, okay? Let's go, 1, 2, 3, 10 and 10. First, boom. So now right here, you gotta get this one Deep and higher. Higher, right there. And now you just lift. There you go. Yeah. It's kind of like you want to think of like a high crouch. Into side control right here. So in this position, I need to make sure that this bottom knee, I'm kicking it super high up and that this one is staying pinched. Because right here in this scenario, he's gonna try and shrimp. So he tries to shrimp, I'm staying attached. So as he shrimps, go ahead. I'm just staying with him. Keeping his legs, like I'm pinching his legs like this. So then he can't ever get his hips away. From here, you notice, look at his hand how it's on my hip. If it's on my hip like that, a lot of times what's gonna then happen is whenever I circle, like I get trying to climb up to side control, my arm is underneath his arm. So it's gonna kind of do this right here. So if y'all can't see, I'm underhooking, right? I went from this position here and he's like pushing on my hip. So then I'm right here to an underhook whenever I try and climb up. If this happens, what I do is I make sure to get this hand also underhooking and I clamp. From this clamp, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive all my weight forward, right, like this. And from this position, I get this knee to the hip and then now I just knee slide through. And now from this position, I mean, really it's on you if you wanna choose to isolate an arm. I usually will choose to like kind of walk up my hands like this and go to like a sort of like arm bar. You could even hit straight arm bar from here. You could just like kind of like cup your own leg there and go straight into an arm bar. Right, a normal arm bar. Yeah, but basically the main point is that from this position here, I'm talking about whenever you get this, the close side underhook. Look, if he's pushing on my hip, is I can literally just punch my elbow over and go straight to the head, right? And this is like more of what y'all are used to seeing, is that this is like a normal side control where I just have my shoulder pressure into his head. From here, of course, I'm still trying to keep this from letting him from getting his underhook. But from this scenario, I'm just, you know, looking to get the side control, same thing. A lot of times, as I get to side control, like I'm pushing like this hand up. So then as I slide to side control, I can start looking to get that arm to the other side. And from here, you know, you got your arm triangle if you want it. You gotta step off. Or if you're more like how I like to do things, I like to get them turned up to then get like a sort of gift wrap position. From the gift wrap, then I'll angle my feet like this. I don't want to keep my knee on the floor because if I'm stay like this, he'll a lot of times push my foot into his half guard. And I don't like that. So from here, I turn my leg up like this and I keep this heel tight to his body. So then it makes it hard for him to push that down. And then from here, I can take the back or notice, look at what I'm doing with my arm. I submit around his head, push down with my elbow, and then I go for arm bar, right? And the difference is gonna be whether you get under this one or over this one. That's what's gonna lead you into the scenario. Once you have the double unders and you're putting pressure on the top side of the body, it's gonna be hard for him to sweep you. Because I'm pinning this side. Like once I'm here in this position, all my weight is on his chin. Like, I mean, I really don't feel, you can do whatever you can to try, I guess, sweep me. Go ahead. I mean, see how my feet, I'm on my toes. So like, whichever way he's trying to off balance me, I can walk. And if you're like this, then it's gonna be hard for you to push back against any off balance. So you wanna be on your toes so you're constantly in an athletic position like this. This is not very athletic. You know what I mean? It's just not. So 1, 2, 3. Hey, we're Ready? Bow out. Good work.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. Yes, sir. Follow behind me. Good job. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Champ!
I'm here with our competitor Marco Mondragon. He's gonna fight for us on the Sub Hunter series coming up. What date is that? I forget.
May 9th.
May 9th. So he's gonna be competing for us May 9th in a blue belt division, heavyweight. How are you feeling about your match coming up?
I know that kid's pretty tough. He definitely a wrestler, so I know he has cardio, and I know he was going to push the pace. But I feel pretty good about where I'm at. I've been training. You've been, in the background cooking some up. But I feel good. Also because I'm a little older compared to everybody that trains here or does the MMA classes. I'm 35, and I feel pretty good. I've noticed from the time I started to now, it's like the process has been gradual, but I've evolved enough to where I feel confident with my skills and where I'm at. But it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be back and forth for sure, because I know that kid's is a wrestler, like I said, but I got something for him. Yeah.
He might be a wrestler, but don't knock your own stuff, bro. You got some good stuff.
I know I do, but you got to keep that on the down low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got any specific game plan that you think is gonna happen against this guy?
I'd rather not say.
All right. Hey, respect.
I'd rather not say. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah, we'll talk
about it after you win.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're gonna be respectful, because you never know. He might come out with something else too. Yeah. You can't be too overconfident. You got to respect your opponent. But I respect him enough not to underestimate him. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I like that. Okay. So next question: what got you into the sport of jiu-jitsu, martial arts?
So, I've always been a big fan of MMA, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. And there was a time in my life where, I had a few family members pass away, and I noticed, like, I would just come home from work and just think about it. And then finally, one day it just hit me. It's like, what's better than just sitting here at home eating and thinking about your family members that passed away, whatever? Honor them. Go compete and honor them. Do it for them. Do it for yourself and do it for them. That's why I do it. I do it to honor my family's name. And, it's one of those things that, it's still kind of, you kind of don't want to cry about it. But, I made a lot of good friends here too, So, I think as a person, it's made me also a better person, because, I got nieces and nephews that are like, oh, I want to do what you do, uncle, or this and that. So in a way, it's like you're honoring your family's name, and then you start to realize, man, you're going to start being a role model for somebody without you even knowing that you're going to be a role model for somebody. The other day, me and you were training, and a little kid came up to me, and he's like, you're Hulk, because I was throwing that medicine ball and smashing it down. And it's like, you start thinking, man, you're kind of like a role model for people, even when you don't know it. So, I do it for that. I do it to honor my family's name, and, being a better role model for kids, too.
It's like you become a light in the darkness for some of these
people. Yeah, that's true. Or sometimes also, like, you don't know it, but you're also somebody's favorite training partner, And that's kind of like where I was at the beginning. It's like, man, I kind of like was not dreading, but it was hard for me to come in and train, because I always used to get grilled here left and right. But I noticed, like, oh, some of my favorite training partners are going. So that kind of made me want to come even more. But like I said, I do it to honor my family's name, be a role model, and also, helps me lose weight. Because when I started, I was about 300 pounds. Right now I'm like 270. But of course, my body composition is different from when I started. But yeah, I mean, this is this is a great place to come train, and so far I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, you pretty much answered this question, but my next question, just to hit it anyway, see if you got anything else to say about it, is has this been a benefit in your life? Like, would you recommend this to others? Or has it been like a detriment in your life?
I would definitely recommend it. Like if you're somebody who is struggling to lose weight, or is just struggling to meet people or whatever, we have different people from different walks of life come in here. We come in and train, and we have fun, and it's one of those things that you start to realize is like, man, I met some really cool people throughout training through this gym. A few years ago we had Nick Diaz come in. That's crazy. Like I never thought I would ever meet a pro fighter like that. But I think one of the benefits is that it helps you keep your weight down. You make friends, and also you get to meet famous people that you never thought you would meet. The opportunities are there. Like if you want to go pro or you want to do amateur, you want to go pro, the opportunity is here for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It opens up a lot of doors for you.
Yeah, it definitely did open up a lot of doors. I never thought I was going to do sub 100. I never thought I was going to do it. And I told my family members, oh, we want tickets. That's crazy. I've never like, I was told, oh yeah, I'm going to be on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things where like it hits you and you realize, oh wow, I'm meeting a lot of people. Oh, I'm going to compete this weekend and I'm going to be on TV. Things like that. Like when you realize it, it's like, oh wow.
Like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
And it's cool because you get to see like who's really there to support you too.
Yeah.
Like whenever you're selling those tickets.
Yeah. And I of course, I understand people have their own personal life or whatever, but like I don't let that play in. I just, I'm just like, okay, I trained for this and I'm gonna do it. That's one of those things where you start to realize, like mentally, it's also made me a little bit, like nothing really faces me anymore. Like something bad can happen at work or whatever, and I don't get stressed out over it. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I've been in worse situations, and I just roll with the punches at work, get out of work after 12-hour shift, and come train.
Oh yeah, kind of get your mind off.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Last question is, what do you think of like the sub-100 format? Like, do you prefer the sub-100 format over like a Jiu-Jitsu World League or like your Naga or point systems, and you just like that sub-100? Why do you choose sub-100 over like a tournament?
I think it's going to be more exciting. Like, in order for you to really make an impact or have people remember you, you got to go for a sub, That's what's going to make grappling exciting. Submissions or back and forth exchanges. It's like, what can you really show people? What are your skills? It's not going to be like, okay, I took your back, I'm going to wait 3 or 4 seconds, get 4 points and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that. But some people want something different.
More action.
And more action. And I think this format for Jiu-Jitsu brings more spotlight to it. Because someone who's kind of new to the sport is going to like look at point system, Jiu-Jitsu or whatever. They're going to be like, okay, what's going on? Why he got 2 points or whatever. In sub-100, they know, okay, they need to go for a submission. Or if they spam submissions, they know, oh, they're trying to finish this guy left or right. So I think that's something that, like I've done tournaments, and then I'm going to do this sub-100 league, but I'm thinking of probably doing it more in the future because it's just the format. It's just like, it makes you want to train harder.
Yep.
Like you need to know your submissions. You can't just rely on like take the point system. You got to rely on like actual skills that you have.
Yeah, finishing them.
Yeah, finish them off pretty much.
And you get to be out in the spotlight.
Yeah,
everybody's watching you.
Yeah, everybody's watching you.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a gradual process. Like from doing my first jiu-jitsu competition to doing my second and then doing the smoker. my smokers or whatever. It's just like I've kind of like working my way up to like the spotlight. But I remember the first time I did my first jiu-jitsu match, it was like I was nervous. I was really nervous.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. But then you start doing different things. You start exposing yourself to more things, and it just it's easier. Yeah, it gets easier. It gets easier. You know, you control your adrenaline rush, things like that. But like I said, I think Sub 100 Pro is one of those up and coming leagues that I think people are going to tune in to watch.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, oh, Sub 100 Pro. Yes. Let's watch it because it's going to be back and forth. It's not going to be just somebody, you know, keeping position for a few minutes and getting out with a win. You know, you got to finish the guy or throw as much submissions as you can. Yeah.
So what are you looking to do after this? Are you going to do another jiu-jitsu tournament? Are you going to start? Do you want to hop in an amateur fight already?
Yeah. So the goal was to see how I did here, how I do in Sub 100 Pro. Do a smoker and then do an amateur fight. That's my goal. But of course, you know, there's a weight that I want to get down to where I'm going to feel comfortable and pretty athletic too.
Yeah.
Cardio-wise and the ability for me to do athletic things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the goal is to have a amateur fight by the end of the year, if not before I turn 36. Yeah.
Well, as someone who has watched your journey from the very beginning, bro, I can't wait to. I love seeing the growth. And from when you first walked into the door, and I can't wait to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you were going,
sure,
bro.
Man.
So,
like, all thanks to you and your dad and the coaches here at Renzo Gracie at Houston, because y'all push us. Even if it's tough love, but y'all know what's better for us. You're not gonna let us just go compete and not be prepared. You know, you're gonna push us to be prepared enough to go out and get a W.
brother. Man, great interview.
Yeah, for sure, man.